Earlier in 2024, to celebrate 25 years of The Phantom Menace, LEGO released the Mos Espa Podrace Diorama. A pretty neat little diorama set that included Anakin's Podracer and Sebulba's Podracer, but definitely left fans wanting more, as there were a lot more Podracers at the Mos Espa Podrace. So LEGO, to solve that problem, did not release a new pod racing bucket. Shame on them. But they did release Gasgano's Podracer right here from Walmart, and it is like its own miniature pod racer just on its own diorama stand. And so when I reviewed Gasgano's Podracer, I said that I thought it'd be pretty neat if someone grabbed a couple of the Mos Espa Podrace sets, combined them together so you can actually have Gasgano's Podracer be part of your pod racer display. And then I realized, why not have that someone be me and show you guys how I did it? So we're going to go to the store and buy 2 Mos Espa Podrace sets and put them together and add on Gasgano's Podracer and see how it looks. And while I'm modifying the set, I want to try to make the archway bigger because Sebulba's Podracer literally couldn't fit through the archway in this set. It's like ridiculous. So I was hoping to make that a little bit bigger. 1, 2. Got our 2 Podracer dioramas here, and before I mash these together, I was actually sent a picture that someone else took Gasgano's Podracer and actually just attached it basically to the back end of the Mos Espa Podrace so that they could display it together as one. That definitely isn't what I was going to go for in this video, but if you wanted to display the 2 together on a budget, that is an option. Or you can just keep them separate like a sane human, but we're not sane here. Let's smash them together. To get started, I opened up both bag 1s and began building a frame for the plinth that was twice the normal length of the actual Mos Espa Podrace set. I do wish I could have made it 1 plate shorter, but because Gasgano's Podracer is a pretty large Podracer, it would not have fit. Or even if it did fit, it would have been a very tight fit, so I decided to go with the full double length plinth. By the end of the project, I think you'll agree it was the right decision, though it definitely makes the set feel super spacious with a double length. Now with our completely clean base, I decided to follow the instructions 1-to-1 on the left side, so literally just taking the set that already exists and putting it on the 2 plates on the left, and that was simple enough. Now with one side of the build done, sometimes with these diorama expansion videos, I'll just take that same concept and copy and paste it over to the other section of the build, which definitely could have been done here, but I thought would look horrible, so I thought it made sense for the landscape to kind of flatten out. So I lightly placed on some plating to get a general idea for the shape I was going to make on the ground and to make sure that I had enough parts to do it, and once I was sure I did, I just pressed them all down together. I then quickly tested a spot that I thought Gasgano's Podracer was going to go. This will end up moving, and you'll see why, because I decided I wanted to build a little bit of a rock feature onto the side of the build, just because I felt like it was too empty if I left it completely flat, so I gave it my best shot and built this little beast. On top of that, I used a lot of the extra studs, plates, and slope pieces to make the landscape look a little bit more natural, and I think that worked out pretty well. Now, the small issue I ran into was trying to place down Gasgano's Podracer with that little rock feature I had built. Gasgano's Podracer is very wide, and it turns out that it actually like hits the piece on the side, so I moved Gasgano's Podracer over to the right by a stud or 2. Now, in doing this fun little project, and honestly, it was very easy to do if you wanted to do it yourself, but it seems wasteful, at least as far as spending the extra money on it, because you're buying a second set that a lot of people already think is overpriced at $80 retail. Now, I did buy mine for $55 at Target. It's on sale, so if you can rationalize it like that. But there's just a lot of pieces that you don't use, and honestly, there's not a ton of space to use unless you just want to build another giant wall like the original build has, and then have 2 of them, or maybe you could extend that. I just didn't feel like that's the direction I wanted to go in. With everything built and done, I'm really happy with the finished product. I think it looks really clean. I mean, maybe it's wrong to have Gasgano's in the front of the pack, but hey, this is my fantasy world now, and Gasgano is the best Podracer, not Anakin or Sebulba. It's pretty cool. Like, having that 3rd Podracer on there, though, I think makes it feel like a much more complete set. Like, if LEGO had released this for $80, I don't think anyone would have ever complained about the price. I always find it interesting with some of these diorama sets which ones do expand well and which ones don't. I think this one is very optimal for expansion. You just end up with a lot of extra pieces, and I think that's the biggest downside when you can just get those parts on Bricklink or Pick-a-Brick, and honestly, that's probably the route you should go if you're looking to do a little project like this. It's just going to save you money because there's just so much left over. You don't need to buy 2 of these sets to do this. You just need to buy the parts. That's my whole point. Oh, I also didn't even bother to use like the 25th anniversary brick. I just felt like leaving it like a little bit cleaner than the original set looks, so I just left the brick off. And I also left the Gasgano's Podracer brick off, since the other Podracers aren't named on the plinth. I feel like Gasgano's Podracer would really stick out too much if you did that. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments section below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and you can check out more LEGO Star Wars set combinations and expansions on the end screen now.